This is a super quick review of the distributive property for upper level math, so we're just going to breeze right through it. So the distributive property basically tells us if we have two terms separated by an addition or subtraction, remember terms are separated by either addition or subtraction, so this is one term, see, because they're not separated by addition or subtraction, but this is two terms. See, here's one term, here's another term. Okay, so basically it says if I multiply this right here, I have to multiply it by both terms. So it's really just as easy as being 3x plus 15 because I took 3 times x plus 3 times 5. So we have 3x plus 15. What about this one? I'm going to go negative 3 times x. And then remember this minus 5 is the same as plus negative 5. So really I have plus negative 3 times negative 5. So this is going to be negative 3x. And then what's negative 3 times negative 5? It's actually positive 15 plus 15. And there we go. That's it. That's the biggest, trickiest thing on distributive property is paying attention to the negative signs. So if you have subtraction inside the parentheses, you can always do what I did and switch it to adding a negative. What about undoing the distributive property? Well, what do these two think about? This is like the end. This is the answer. And what did we start with? Or what could we have started with? Well, what could be outside the parentheses? Let's look and see what's in common. They both have an x, right? So we could take this x and bring it outside. And what would we have left? We would have 3 plus 5, which is x times 8. And if you did this math problem, you would see that's 3x plus 5x is 8x, right? It's kind of obvious, maybe, hopefully. Okay, what about the next one? What did they have in common? Well, they each have a 5 in common, right? So we could pull the 5 outside, and what would we have left? If I divided this 10 by 5, I would have a 2. And if I divide 45x by 5, I have 9x left. So it's really important that by this level of math, you can undo the distributive property too, that you can see the greatest common factor of these two and pull it outside. It's very, very useful. So always just look for the greatest common factor, pull it outside. One little side note that I want to do is what if we had something that looks like this? Do we use the distributive property here? No. Because inside those parentheses, there's only one term, okay? So they're not separated by addition or subtraction, so we're not going to be distributing into each term. You would just multiply this all together. So it would be 5 times x, then you combine things that are the same and you end up with 5x squared. A lot of people get confused by that because this is just one term, not two terms, one term.